California is the middle of a long drought and freshwater resources are becoming more precious. Adam Levin reports that communities are starting to boost their use of recycled water.
This is the California Aqueduct, which pumps water to the over 1 million people who live here in the San Fernando Valley. The fresh water comes to people's homes where it is used to drink, wash dishes, and fill our toilets. But where does all this fresh water go once it's reached our sewage lines? It comes here to the Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant. I asked the plant's head engineer, Daniel Strauss, how the process works and its main uses.
The sewer is made up of about 1% sludge and 99% water. The sewage flows into the plant and the sludge sends away to processing plant and the water gets processed. It goes through the filtration, aeration, chlorination, dechlorination, filtration, and at the end the water gets to the point where it meets all the federal standards for clean water. We're standing right here in the middle of the San Fernando Valley where we use the water to irrigate the basin, the golf courses, and fill up Lake Balboa.
Greenways and traffic medians, parks, schools, and agricultural areas all use or may soon have to use reclaimed water to irrigate. While the city does use an enormous amount of reclaimed water already, more pervasive use is being talked about. Our state has been experiencing a long drought and will continue to have water supply problems in the future. And considering the fact that irrigation for public green areas and agriculture uses more than 80% of the water in the county, and the fact that the city's population continues to grow, reclaimed water will become much more crucial in the years to come. That's something all Angelenos, even feathered ones, can appreciate. At the Japanese Gardens in Woodley Park, Adam Levin, Valley View News.
Trappers have killed 7 coyotes in Griffith Park in recent days after a man said he was attacked by one of the animals. The California Department of Fish and Game says that a coyote bit the man's foot, but he was not seriously injured. The agency says it will only shoot the coyotes if they cause immediate threats to visitors. The attack has been the second reported in less than a month.
And coming up next on Valley View News, we have a look at the weekend in sports, including USC's surprising loss.
The USC Trojans look to improve their 2-0 start as they open their Pac-10 season. But the Washington Huskies and their new coach, Steve Sarkisian, had other plans. Adam Levin has all that and more in his sports report.
The USC Trojans were looking to go 3-0 early on in the football season and start Pac-10 play with a win against the Huskies of Washington. But Huskies coach Steve Sarkisian is a former Trojans offensive coordinator, and he had other plans. The result, a big Huskies win over the Trojans. Huskies quarterback Jake Locker was brilliant, completing 21 of his 35 passes against the vaunted SC defense. The upset was complete when sophomore Eric Folk kicked the game-winning field goal as time expired in the fourth to deliver the Huskies' 16-13 win, their first victory over the Trojans since 2001. The UCLA Bruins added to their impressive early start with a dominating 23-9 victory over the Kansas State Wildcats. The Bruins senior quarterback Kevin Kraft threw for 186 yards and a touchdown, but he also threw an interception. Freshman halfback Jonathan Franklin rushed for 119 yards and a score on 23 carries. The Bruins are now a surprising 3-0 under second-year coach Rick Neuheisel. The Bruins will look to get a leg up in conference when they play their Pac-10 opener this week on the road against Stanford. Cal State Northridge's men's soccer team is starting fresh this season. The team was ravaged by injuries last year. Valley View's Natanya Levine went to a practice and talked with the players and the head coach.
The CSUN men's soccer team is ready and hungry for bigger and better things this season. Last year, CSUN finished a disappointing 5th place in conference and failed to make the playoffs. This year's team is loaded with experience as there are 10 seniors. Senior forward Moy Gomez is coming off an injury last season and says he's excited to help the team and feels no pressure being made captain.
I feel like I'm privileged to be considered, and anything I can do to help set a good example for our team is what I want to do.
Several issues for the Matadors will be a challenging schedule, a tough conference, and who will replace their All-American goalkeeper Kevin Guppy, who graduated last year. Head coach Terry Davila says the competition for starting goalkeeper is still tight, and both sophomore Brandon Ibarra and freshman Michael Abalos will split time in goal.
As of right now, it's still 50-50. Brandon's got a little bit of the nod. He's a little more consistent right now. Michael Abelos is right there with him. Talent-wise, they're both exceptional. You'll see Brandon play in the next couple of games, and you'll see Michael Abelos play in the next couple of games. It's not because Brandon's not playing well. It's Michael's that good, and Michael deserves an opportunity like other players deserve opportunities.
Sophomore goalkeeper Brandon Ibarra says that learning under Kevin Guppy has prepared him for this season.
This is my third year. I'm a redshirt sophomore, though. Being around the program for a while, it's kind of prepared me for where I am right now, being behind Kevin Guppy, who's now going on to the next level. That's kind of prepared me to, where I'm at right now at this level.
While the goalkeeper position might still be up for grabs, the team is solid in other areas, particularly defense, which is what the Matadors are known for. This team, which is loaded with talent and experience, has the potential to win conference. In Northridge, Natanya Levine, Valley View News.
One of the most anticipated fights of the year turned out to be a lopsided decision. Returning after 2 years away from the ring, Floyd Mayweather Jr. won a non-title welterweight bout against Juan Manuel Marquez. Mayweather had to pay Marquez $600,000 because Mayweather came in 2 pounds over the 144-pound limit. With Marquez defeated, the table is set for a potential fight with current pound-for-pound champion Manny Pacquiao. The Dallas Cowboys have opened their new billion-dollar Palace-like stadium, the nation's largest sporting venue. More than 100,000 people packed the huge complex to see the Cowboys take on the division rival New York Giants. It was the biggest crowd to ever attend a regular season professional football game. The game was a barn burner throughout. Giants quarterback Eli Manning marched his club down the field for the game-winning field goal as New York won 33-31 and spoiled the big opener for Dallas. That's what's going on in sports. Back to you, Shayla.
President Obama spoke to congressmen and said new health care reform does not apply to those who are not U.S. citizens. And we got reactions from residents in Pasadena. In an unstable economy, health insurance coverage has become less accessible and even more so for non-U.S. citizens living in this country. President Obama addressed congressional Democrats and Republicans to push for system-wide health care reform, leaving immigrants out of the picture.
There are also those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This, too, is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally.
But like lawmakers in Congress, the public is still divided on the issue of health care and whether or not immigrants should or should not receive adequate health care. Maria Valencia de Núñez, who is a U.S. citizen and receives health care, says she stands by those who are not U.S. born and claims that President Obama has failed this large group of people in this country.
Because we all work and we need insurance, especially Latinos because we are the biggest group of people in this country. And they should be given insurance and residency so we can work in this country and be able to get our licenses. I support that decision. To go to a doctor and check out children is really expensive, and for elders because they are the most vulnerable to illnesses.
But not everyone disagrees with the president's decision to exclude immigrants from the new health care policy.
As an immigrant and you're illegal, it's a little different in the sense of coverage. But if you have your paperwork, if you're legal, that should not be a problem.
The National Coalition on Healthcare website shows that nearly 46 million Americans of the population under the age of 65 were without health care insurance in 2007. With limited access to health insurance, many non-U.S. citizens in America are concerned about their future well-being and are in search of other options. In Pasadena, I'm Shayla Selva for Valley View News.
Another American soldier is dead and 12 others are injured after a U.S. military helicopter crashed in Iraq. The helicopter crashed over a U.S. airbase, but the cause has not been determined. It is believed that there was not firing at the time, but weather and poor visibility are possible causes. This is the 8th fatal casualty this month.